Welcome back to Observer AM. I'm Jackie Quinn, your host. On the 10th and 16th November 2022, Integrated Health Outreach, Inc., IHO, will provide a platform for all concerned citizens to express their thoughts and ideas about the well-being of the environment. The organization will be hosting 2 community-focused meetings to provide insight for decision-making and change. These meetings are intended to provide an opportunity for all residents to aid in making a difference in their communities. We have on the Zoom line with us Mr. Dwayne Simon, and he is the project manager for IHO. Dwayne has an MSc, a master's degree in management and educational leadership from the University of the West Indies, and he is a lecturer at the Antigua State College. Good morning, Dwayne, and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having our organization. Good morning, Antigua.
Yes, it's great to have you, Dwayne. Before
Yes.
we talk about IHO, can you just quickly tell us a little update on your brother, Andre Simon, the cyclist who was knocked down a few months ago? He is overseas. Just a quick update.
Yes, no problem. So, unfortunately, I had to come back to Antigua, but my sister is there by Andre's side, full time, and also my mom. So, in terms of how Andre's doing, he continues to push on. He continues to fight. We have seen like very small progress, but we take that as a win, and so we're grateful. Um, he's still stable. Sometimes we have a few hiccups, but he gets through those hiccups. So we're very grateful for the grace of God, for the prayers, and for the support. But he's doing well.
Thank you very much, Dwayne. And I know I would have put you on the spot there, but on
Uh,
behalf of Observer and
yeah,
all of Antigua and Barbuda, we certainly continue to pray very fervently for Andre's full recovery. Full recovery.
I
Now,
appreciate that. Thank you.
now let's start by telling us a bit about IHO. Many persons might not have heard of Integrated Health Outreach. Tell us, what is this organization?
Okay, so Integrated Health Outreach is a nonprofit organization, and we focus on the well-being of socioeconomic conditions, environment. Also, we try to have a lot of programs and projects to support and empower marginalized groups. We do a lot of work in supporting and building up women and women's rights, as well as children and mental health. So we cover multiple facets of life, and that is why the name Integrated Health, integrated, emphasis on integrated, because we look at all aspects of well-being. We think that it's very important that people have support socially, financially, um, and this also includes mental health. And all of this is tied into the environment, because if the environment that we live in is not functioning, then we won't be able to exist in a functional way.
Everything is connected, huh?
Everything is connected, A case in point, when there was an issue with the sargassum, it's very difficult for persons that lived on that coast to really to even breathe properly.
Yes.
So
Right.
health is multifaceted. So we have a number of projects that surround that.
Now, how did this project begin? Tell us about the genesis of this.
Okay, so there's the organizations such as the World Bank and CEPF, which is the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund, that's focused on not only protecting the environment, but more specifically, protecting biodiversity. And these organizations have recognized that a big part of the solution is the people that live in these communities. And so the approach has changed from a sort of top-down to a more collaborative and inclusive approach, so that the community could be at the driver's seat too, being involved in the protection and the change. So that is how it starts. And so there was a call for a proposal, and our organization would have applied, and we were successful. And this is the World Bank's GPSA arm, and they would have asked us to partner with our Dominican Republic partner called Intech, which is a university. And so in conjunction, we are both rolling out this project with Intech as a lead. And it's based in, it's going to be focusing on the Dominican Republic, Antigua and Barbuda, but then it's going to expand to Jamaica and St. Lucia very shortly.
Tell us about your role in the project, Dwayne, because you
Yeah,
have a
so
very critical role.
yeah, so I provide, I assist in the project implementation, so that's my main focus. I also look at things like monitoring, evaluation, and so forth, but just to ensure that I'm a part of that project team for implementation. Yes.
No, the term biodiversity, it's a big term. I always like to break down big terms so that everybody can understand, the layman can understand.
Yes.
I'm not sure, even sure that I fully grasp what biodiversity is. Why is biodiversity important?
Yeah, so you're a scholar, so I know you know biodiversity, but so just to break it down quite literally, bio means life, and diversity is the variation. So biodiversity simply means the variation of the different types of life forms that we have, all the different species, plants, animals, reptiles, everything. So it speaks to that variation. When we talk about biodiversity, we really focus on its conservation or protection because we understand the term extinct when something is no longer on this earth, when we have eliminated all of that type of species,
Mhm.
the species can't come back.
That's right.
And so things that are endangered, we try our best to see if we can protect them because we understand that all of the different types of organisms play a role in this thing that we call life. And humans are also a part of biodiversity. So although we tend to be the bad actors that act as a threat
Yes.
to a number of organisms, we are still a part of it. So if the biodiversity breaks down, then that system that helps to hold things in place, that natural status quo, then it can fall apart because one organism depends on another one.
That's
So if
right.
you take away that, then you can have a cascading effect. So it's very important to protect it. And we have national designated sites that the international community has marked as important, as what they call a key biodiversity area. And
Wow.
these areas should be protected. And Antigua has made moves to officially protect them. And one area that we're focused on, well, the area that we're focused on specifically is an area called NEMA,
Hmm.
which is the Northeast Marine Management Area. And
Yes.
and so they have very, very exciting but also endangered species there. And it's important that we protect it.
I'm glad you mentioned NEMA, that Northeastern Marine Management Area, because this project is focusing on that area and particularly the Fitch's Creek Bay. Tell us about what makes NEMA a vulnerable conservative or conservation area.
Okay, so NEMA is home to very special species that have been marked endangered. So for example, we're familiar with the hawksbill turtle.
Yeah.
There's also the whistling duck. The mangroves that exist in NEMA, those mangroves should be protected because it contributes to the other biodiversity aspects. So it's a very large area. It includes 28 islands. It spans all the way, as the name suggests, northeast.
Yes.
So it includes Barnes Hill, Parham. Parham is a big aspect of it. Willowkeys, Seaton's, and of course Fitch's Creek Bay. And so all of these northeastern coastal communities help to form the NEMA. And we know that from a social standpoint, we have a lot of economic activity happening in NEMA. So it's very important that we ensure that it's protected because everything is connected as we said.
So tell us how can listeners, you're hosting these two community meetings this month. Tell us about what you're hoping to achieve, how listeners can get involved. Who are the people you're targeting to attend these meetings in these northeastern communities?
Yeah, so the idea is that we want to involve the community. The community, their voice should be heard, and we want them to become a part of the process because we want to have a collaborative approach. So we're targeting persons specifically in Parham, Fidges Creek, Barnes Hill, And what we're doing is we're breaking it up into two groups. So this Thursday on the 10th at 5:30, we will be at Parham Primary School. And so if you are a part of that community, Parham, Fidges Creek, Barnes Hill, and you want to be involved, we invite you to come and to be involved, because it would not just be a presentation. It's a situation where you hear what's going on in the environment. You hear all of the policies that are put in place to guide the environment, the protection of it, and then we ask you to give your feedback in terms of what's important to you. And then what we'll do is we'll try to bring all of the actors to the table and say, hey, this is what the community is saying is important to them. But I have to emphasize the word collaboration, because
Mhm.
we have to work with government. We want to work with government in a very non-political way, non-partisan way.
Right.
We're really just all trying to come sit at the table and have a discussion as to how we can protect the environment and how we can take steps going forward. So it's not just a presentation, but the community would have a voice, and we'll be taking note of what they say,
Mhm.
and there will also be prizes, and it'll be fun. Refreshments also.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
it's a full on lovely
Yeah.
event to attend.
It's a whole event, yes.
Yes, and it's not only for, I want to stress, Dwayne, that this is not only for fishermen or fisher folk. We're talking about community groups,
Yes.
concerned citizens, conservationists, environmentalists, generally the
Yes.
entire communities you're
Absolutely.
inviting.
Absolutely. So yes, so it's not just persons from the fishing community, but it also includes Pabro, the Fishes Creek Community Group, anyone that is concerned. Even if you're not sure what all this is about, you don't have to understand all of the terms, but try to come out if you live in those areas,
Yes,
because it's your home.
that's
It's
right.
your home.
Now, tell us how, holistically, how will this project benefit us here in Antigua and Barbuda?
Okay, great. So in terms of benefit, whenever you have the public or community involved in the management of the space in which they live in, the outcomes are always better. Because what happens is persons from the community live in the community. So not only are they affected, but they're able to see what's going on. So for example, I don't live in Parham, so I don't know, I can't relate to all of the things that persons in Parham may go through. But if you live there, if you grew up there, it you know more about it, and when it's time to make decisions, to hear from you or to have your input, it makes the decision so much better. And not only that, if we have a partnership, then the community group can come on as a partner and say, hey, this is where we should be, because we all agreed that this is what we should be doing. And so you have some level of social accountability by involving the community groups too.
I have a question on the board. Somebody's asking, what about pigots, Andre? You have left out pigots.
Yes.
Are they also invited to this meeting?
So it's not as long as Piggett's is close enough. I'm actually in Painters, and
Yes.
so that coastline affects me too. And so if you're in Piggett's and you would like to come out, it's a situation where we won't turn you away. We'll say come, and so yeah, we won't turn you away.
That's right. Excellent. So, pigots, you are invited as well. In
Yeah,
fact,
yeah.
all of Antigua. I mean, you don't have to live in that area because biodiversity affects everybody, you know?
Yes, but it's a process, and as we go through, we'll be sharing updates and so on along the way, and so the two meetings. So this one on Thursday, it's really focused on persons in that area, but then next week on the 15th, we have another one in Willa Keys, and that meeting would help to target persons who live in Willa Keys, Setons, Glanvilles, so because it's a situation where it's a face-to-face meeting.
Yes.
And with face-to-face meetings, you do have a situation where you have size constraints and so forth. So that is why we have targeted invitees.
Now, how can listeners get in contact with you, Dwayne, or if keep up with the updates about this project, future events? Do you have a social media presence at all?
Yes, yes, yes. So we are on Facebook and Instagram, and the handle for Facebook is IHOAB IHOAB. And for Instagram, it's IHO_AB. And the website is IHOAB.com. So it's very simple. My number also is 736-2299. 736-2299.
Excellent. Now, is there anything else we can look forward to from IHO in the near future? This is a huge project for you, funded by the World Bank,
Yes.
excellent project for the NEMA area. But what about other things that IHO might be involved in?
Yes, so we're really community driven. We're really concerned with helping the community. So we're constantly trying to be involved and to support and to execute projects that help the community. So for example, there is a current project that involves women farmers uh, and supporting them to have disease-resistant coconut trees, right? That's one of my, I shouldn't say favorite, but that's one of my favorite projects because it not only trains these women farmers, but it allows them to get exposed to training and business practices. And and this is good because at the end of the day, you have persons who are empowered, who are learning a trade, and they're able to get a jump start. There's another project that looks at beekeeping. Uh, so female beekeepers can be a part of beekeeping training and that type of thing. And there's a long list of projects that you can see on our website, but we're constantly being involved. We're constantly trying to see how we can help the community in different ways. And so there's some projects that may come on stream next year, and I'll be happy to come and tell you all about them.
And you need to stress, Dwayne, that this is a non-political, totally
Oh,
apolitical
absolutely, absolutely,
organization.
yes,
Uh,
absolutely, absolutely,
you are a civic
yes,
organization, and it has
absolutely.
nothing to do with any political
No,
party at all.
yes, that part is very important because sometimes when you talk about because what we want is collaboration. At the end of the day, we want to see the environment protected. We
That's
don't
right.
want anything bad to happen to it, and so it's very important to be non-political, and all of our projects have been non-political, and that we want persons from every side to feel like they can be a part of it, because it benefits us all.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, we want to
Yes.
thank you very kindly, Mr. Dwayne Simon, the project manager of Integrated Health Outreach, IHO. You have been most informative and certainly insightful, and we encourage all Antiguans and Barbudans to turn out on the 10th and the 15th. It is 15th or
Yes,
16th?
correct. Yes,
15th
yes.
for
15th,
these
yes.
public fora put on by IHO. Thank you, Mr. Simon,
Thank you
and
so
all
much
the
for having
best.
us. Thank you.
All the
All right, thank
best.
you.
We're going to take a break and we'll come